There you go. All right, let's bring him in. We've all been waiting for him. I haven't spoken to him in a while. That's Mr. Robin Cross. He's with StoneX in Chicago. He's the lumber guy. Robin, what do you got for us?
Good morning, Scott. It's good to hear from you, buddy. I hope all is well with you. Well, let's take a look at some prices this morning. Right now, July lumber, which is now your lead, is trading at $5.34, which is down $1.50. September lumber still has not opened yet. It's right around settlement price at $5.50 with only 15 trades and 2 in SEP, but that was through the spreads. Before we dive into the details of the lumber market, we had some breaking news on housing this morning. Starts and permits were just released, so let's take a quick look at that. Housing starts, privately owned housing starts in April were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.3 million. This is up about 5.5%, 5.7% above March, so that's good. A little positive news to start the day. Then building permits, which is the gauge of future activity, came out about 1.4 million, and that was actually down 3% below March. But not surprising. It's still within that margin of error. And lastly, we had completions. Completions came out pretty strong. They were 1.6 million, which was up about almost 9%, 8.6%. So now we got all that out of the way. Let's take a look at lumber this morning. Yesterday was May expiration. That's why we are so quiet this morning, because, it's usually first couple of days after expiration. It takes a while for the market to get going. So let's review the massive move that took place with that contract. After much spring enthusiasm, May lumber achieved a contract high on March 12th of $624. At that time, futures were overbought. They were a big premium to underlying cash. And then the final nail in the coffin, Jay Powell from the Fed said interest rates were not going to ease off anytime soon. So all that combined with a little fun selling caused a massive sell-off. All in all, we ended up losing from the 624 high to Tuesday's pre-expiration low of 470, about $154, basically in a single month, also setting a new yearly low. And then we ultimately ended up expiring yesterday at 496 to finish off that contract. So what was so interesting about that May activity is that for the last 18 months, lumber's big range has literally been a couple bucks below 480 and a couple bucks above 625. So we traded the entire year's range all within one single contract. So that's very interesting. And then let's just kind of look at where we've gone these past couple of months. Last expirations, like May, I said, was 496. March, 560. So we lost quite a bit from March to May. Jan, 528. No, 520. And September, 491. So looking ahead, July is now your lead contract. Well, on one hand, there's a lot of, people wonder how come there's so much premium in July versus where we just went off of in May. Well, it's expectations, right? We have an early fire season. There's been a steady production curtailment announcements, kind of coming out every day. Nothing substantial, but they're, drips and drabs. And then there's a possible CN rail strike. The next talk is scheduled for May 20th coming up. So, naturally that built some premium into the market. But the flip side is we still have a big premium to underlying cash, and we also have a big gap from expiration. That gap is going to be featured from today's low, 533 to 496, yesterday's high in May. So I think that we're going to have to retrace a little bit to get some momentum. If the market is going to rally and we're going to work our way back to the highs, we got to get some momentum first and, probably take some of this premium out of the market. But I would say, just get in where you fit in. Just because of the positive possible news, a person should still hedge good premium, and it's proven to work over and over again, and I would still take a look at that.
I don't think you left anything out. I think you got it all in there, so I appreciate that very much. Robin Cross coming to us from Chicago. He's with StoneX, talking about lumber. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. I'm going to come back and talk livestock in the cow jacket right after this.